So the world came this close to losing one of its greatest men of recent times in the person of Donald J. Trump, 45th President of the United States, a couple hours ago. And by one of the greatest people, I do not mean anything political, and I really do not want any aspect of this video to be political. By a great man, I just mean his contributions to the United States and to the world as an individual, which a lot of people, especially those born yesterday, like the guy who attempted the shooting, do not understand and have no clue about. But for those who know a little bit about this man's background and a little bit about his history, you would know he's a great man by every stretch of the imagination. This is the only president I know and that I've read of who, by getting into the White House as a president, actually meant lowering his standards of living. He would become the 45th president and he wouldn't earn a dime. I think he got like $1 per year because he's obliged by law to receive some money. So, but basically he didn't earn a salary. He gave everything to the country he loves. And the question becomes, how did we get here? How did we get to this point in time where a kid, a 20-year-old, would muster the courage to take out such a great man? There could be many explanations for that, but definitely one of the explanations that we cannot shy away from would be how much this man has been demonized by the media for the last 8 years. You say, I understand that politics is a dirty game. I'm old enough and wise enough to understand that politics is a dirty game. But for the most of human history in politics, nothing compares to the magnitude of dirtiness you find today happening in the political space. It's tragic, it's sad, and it's just outright worrying, because there was a time when we talked of politics being dirty, what we meant was politicians lying on their opponents, lying to the people just to get ahead. But we are at a point in time when you literally have some of the most powerful organizations, corporations and companies demonizing a fellow for political gains on a day-to-day and a year-to-year basis. All right? Going many years. And what it does is, to some folks who are older and understand what's going on, they understand it's politics. But what they fail to understand is, while they play their politics, there are those, like the kid who tried taking Donald Trump out, who have no history and no understanding of who this man is. There are those like him who do not understand its politics, who take it seriously, all right? And imagine, this kid probably first heard of the name Donald Trump in 2016 when he was about 12 years old. He had no sense of his own. And 7-8 years later, all he's heard and all he's known has been the media demonizing this man and painting him darker than the devil himself, all right? And so this kid, misled enough by propaganda, wakes up and looks at Trump as the devil's incarnate and decides he would play Jesus to take him out. All right? So while there could be so many analyses to all this, you cannot ignore the role of the much toxic media we have today. I don't believe the media has ever been as toxic as it is right now. Full arms of different aspects of society I don't want to name. The media, companies, fighting this man for so long a period of time. You know what I'm talking about? Bogus stories here and there, bogus cases here and there. This is the resort, all right? This is what you get when you tarnish a man's reputation that much for so long. That's the result you get. And the world is lucky. A lot of people do not fathom what actually happened, because thank his lucky stars, he was saved. He was just a fraction of an inch to death. He survived by the skin of his teeth. All right? The last case we had of such magnitude was about 2-3 years ago with the Japanese PM, Shinzo Abe, I think his name was. He was taken out by a homemade gun in Japan. The point I'm making is, no weapon is that small to take someone out. And so Trump, we could say Trump survived because the heavens were with him. And so This is for the media and for people to understand that while we play politics, there are those who do not understand what politics is. There are those who take everything literally. And this is what I really want to focus on. You see, when Trump, after a few minutes of being down, when he woke up, you saw this man messed up by his own blood, raise his fist. And even though we couldn't hear what he was saying, you could read his lips and you would tell he was saying fight and fight and fight on. And by those words, of course, it didn't mean anything violent. He was calling on his fellow Americans to fight by way of their votes and their bravery and their ideologies and their belief systems and of course their love for country, in order to try to remedy the country from its current unhealthy state, which has now shifted by a wide margin from what it used to be, and by his own terms, make America great again. Because there are just a lot of things that are out of sync in the States. And even if you do not buy his ideas for the most part, at least what just happened is enough reason for all and sundry to come to the realization that the country needs a fix and to do something about it. At least you want to live in a country where you know the president is safe, where you know you can walk around freely without being afraid, where you know you could stay at home with a peace of mind, knowing that your son, your spouse, your wife, your kid is going to come back in one piece like they left in the morning to go about your business or whatever. That's enough reason for Americans to fight. I cannot but imagine how sad of a day it would have been if this man wasn't saved by his lucky stars. Now, a few minutes after that happened, he spoke with Biden, even though the details of their conversation were not released. But what that tells you is that these people are not enemies like you think. These are political opponents, all right? And if you understand politics so well, you understand there is a game somewhere. They're playing a game somewhere. But the point is that while the media and other powerful factions of society play this game, they should understand not everyone sees it as a game. Thanks for your time. Have a good one.